morning, Ms.Shaw.
Good morning, Mr. Ulrich.
Are the quarterlies in yet, Ms.Shaw?
On your desk, Mr. Ulrich.
And the regional analysis, will that be ready for my meeting this afternoon?
Done, Mr. Ulrich. On your desk as well.
Done already? I don't mean I don't mean just a summary. I'm going to need the complete breakdown, the comparables, the cross-sectionals, the EBITDA, the revenue.
Yes, Mr. Ulrich, I understand. The regional analysis. It's on your desk. I've taken the liberty of making some notes in the margin. I don't like the numbers coming out of the Midwest.
Notes? Numbers? I don't understand.
The earnings are out of whack. At least it seemed that way to me. Mr. Ulrich, I was wondering if I could have a word.
A word, Ms. Shaw?
Yes, a brief word.
If it's about the Midwest numbers, don't worry. I'll look at it this afternoon. It's quite complex. I'm not sure it's the sort of thing someone like you could easily understand.
No, it's not about that. It will only take a minute if it's not too much to ask.
Well, I've got quite a busy morning. I suppose if it'll only take a minute.
It's just that, well, I'm going to be retiring later this year, and I was...
Yes, at the end of next month, I believe. You must really be looking forward to all
Yes,
that.
and there are certain things we should talk about before I go.
Oh, to ensure an orderly transition, you mean? Don't worry, Miss Shaw. I have it all figured out. It's not going to be easy without you, but I've made some plans, and I think I've got things under control. Not that it could be like it was. I mean, after all, you're my secretary for what? 24 years?
25 years last week, as a matter of fact.
Really? We should have said something. I could have done something to mark the occasion, brought in some muffins or some kind of cake.
Well, you bought me these flowers and a lovely gift.
I did?
I didn't want to bother you with the details, so I just went ahead, just like I do at birthdays and Christmas. I hope you don't mind.
Oh, no, I don't mind, but it wouldn't have been a bother. I am quite capable of making a gesture.
Oh, I'd hardly call it a gesture. Don't be so modest. Everyone knows how generous you are.
Generous?
Yes, generous. Let's just leave it at that. You're a very generous man, just like your father, and it was a very generous gift. But getting back to my retirement,
A very generous gift, you say? Well, I suppose 25 years is a long time.
And 10 years before that with your father, yes. But about my retirement...
About this gift. I trust it was something appropriate, something tasteful, dignified, a watch, perhaps?
Dignified and tasteful, yes. But
And generous.
yes, quite generous. But about my retirement, we really
Yes,
should...
look, as I was saying, there's no need for you to worry about that. That's hardly the sort of thing I could expect you to take care of yourself. No, I've made some plans, and I think things are going to be just fine. I wasn't going to say anything just yet, but I suppose there's no harm letting the cat out of the bag, as it were. I've decided to bring in Ms. Jenkins from marketing as my new executive secretary.
Miss Jenkins? From marketing? But she's barely out of business school.
Business school? She has an MBA from Harvard. Barely out. She's been with us over 4 years. Personally, I think Ms. Jenkins is a wonderful choice. But you didn't let me finish. I'm going to bring in Ms. Jenkins as my new executive secretary. And I'm going to bring in Ms. Weber as my new executive assistant. I'm expanding the team, creating some new positions. I think we should take down this
Miss
wall over
Weber?
here.
Miss Weber from finance?
Yes, Miss Weber from finance. She's the only Miss Weber.
Miss Weber, the deputy director of finance. You're bringing the deputy director of finance in as your executive assistant? Does she know about this?
Of course she does.
And she's agreed?
Yes, she's quite looking forward to the position.
I bet she is. Does your father know about this? Does the board?
Miss Weber, please, remember your place.
Ah, my place. Since you seem to need both the deputy director of finance and a hotshot Harvard MBA to fill my shoes, just where do you think my place is, Mr. Ulrich?
At your desk, Miss Shaw.
Well, now, getting back to my retirement, it wasn't the transition I wanted to talk to you about. Here, there are certain arrangements your father and I made. Perhaps it would be better if you could take a look through this and we can talk about it later.
This? What's this?
My personnel file.
What? How did you get this?
From your father.
My father? I don't understand.
It's not that difficult. You should take a look. You'll probably have questions. I'll be in my place. I mean, at my desk if you need me. In the meantime, you have that conference call. When would you like me to bring in your coffee?
If I'm not out by 11, thank you, Miss Shaw.
Certainly, Mr. Ulrich.